sales have been going relatively okay as the day progresses.
Very exciting, you know. I want Ken Block and Marco Koi got Ken Block to win this year.
I love it.
What about it you love?
Ken Block is the #1 fan in the Caribbean.
The Redbull Global Rallycross, Round 11, 2015, at the Bushy Park Racing Circuit, Barbados. A doubleheader of the championship was hosted by the Bushy Park Circuit, Inc., with Round 10 happening just a day before Round 11. American Tenafast cleaned up Round 10 in style in its Volkswagen Beetle. Events like the Redbull Global Rallycross coming to Barbados are the result of the collaboration of a number of organizations assisting the BPCI. One such organization is the Barbados Tourism Marketing, Inc. Director of the USA office, Patrick Griffith Roach, explained to us a bit of how it all works.
We are responsible for marketing Barbados overseas, and rather than just doing a carte blanche throwing out people sun, sand and sea, I really believe that with an asset like Bushy Park, which is the only one of its kind in the Caribbean, that we have a really strong story to tell within the motorsport racing arena. And therefore, to be able to promote Barbados at the other events that they ran in the US, we had phenomenal success. We actually went to the event, we created the Barbados area where we were giving out mocktails, where we had girls dressed up in costumes, etc. And we also ran competitions so that people could actually come and experience the event here in Barbados, and they won a holiday for two staying at the Southern Palms Hotel. So it was actually very, very well received, and it's certainly an area that we will continue to focus on. The differentiator in most cases are the events that we can host. And as I said before, there is not another facility like this within the Caribbean, so it gives us a wonderful opportunity to step and sit above our competitors within the region. I think that we started off with the Top Gear Festival. We had Race of Champions last year, so it can only get better and better. There's so many more options that we can go after, and I really can see that in terms of the column inches that we're getting in the popular racing magazines throughout the US, that it's certainly setting Barbados as one of the top destinations to look at.
The drivers, their crews, the entire staff that make the Redbull Global Rallycross happen. They left Los Angeles and traveled over 6,300 kilometers to Barbados to host and take part in a spectacular two-day doubleheader. The supercars and the lights were all slated to do battle on both days, as well as some local treats such as the go-karters and stunt riders. With the formalities on the front grid finished, the drivers headed back to the pit so that the racing could begin. To keep some of the dust down, the run into the jump was watered. 30 seconds to go. 6 cars on the grid. On the front row were Austin Dine, Scott Speed in the middle, and Sebastian Eriksson furthest away from the camera. Yoni Wienen, Sverre Isaacson, and Brian Deegan made up the second row. They're off. Eriksson slips from the front as Scott Speed and Austin Dine battle it out for the lead of this heat. Dine was fastest in qualifying and fastest into turn 1. Speed is second. Yoni Wienen passes his teammate Sebastian Eriksson, and they're followed by Brian Deegan and Sverre Isaacson. At 1.12 miles long, Barbados features the longest track not only in the 2015 Redbull Global Rallycross, but in the history of the entire series. In this format of racing, there are 2 heats, then those are followed by 2 semifinals, and for those who did not get through via the route of the semis, there is the last chance qualifier before the finals. Let's not forget the surface changes and the jumps, which make for an ever-changing race at times, as one then adds the joker into the equation. Still leading was the black Brian Herta Rally Sport Ford Fiesta of Austin Dine. All 6 cars make it over the jump safely. But second place Scott Speed in his Volkswagen Andretti Rallycross Beetle has his hands full keeping Winan at bay. Down the front straight, and it is single file as third place Winan in his Red Bull Oldsberg MSE Ford Fiesta is still ahead of teammate Sebastian Eriksson and keeping Speed busy. Isaacson and Brian Deegan round up the pack. Just look at how close these skilled drivers get during their battle. While first place looked a bit more comfortable than the rest of the race, and after the first lap the Joker shortcut is open. First place Austin Dine and third place Joni Winan opt to use it. This sees Speed dropping to third and Winan promoted to second. The gap at the front has opened a bit more as a result of Dine taking the shortcut. Still battling at the back are Norway's Sverre Isaacson and the USA's Brian Deegan. Isaacson in the Subaru Rally Team USA Impreza, and Deegan in a Chip Ganassi Racing Ford Fiesta. Dine is one of two drivers who are competing in the supercars after first competing in the lights. The other is Joni Winan. The two teammates are second and third with Scott Speed looking for a way past. A testament to how quick and resilient these racing teams are. Speed had lost one of his wheels the day before in a heavy crash and finished the race on 3 wheels. Today his car looks like it never happened. It looks as though he has had enough of chasing the two teammates and goes for the Joker. Will it be enough to squeeze ahead of them both? Yep, just barely. And once again Speed is up into second, and now he is being chased and not chasing the teammates of Joni Winan and Sebastian Eriksson. Bringing up the rear is Brian Deegan, followed by Sverre Isaacson. Seemingly untroubled at the front is the fastest man in qualifying on Sunday, Austin Dine, who is having things his own way. Speed's Volkswagen flies over the jump, followed by Winan and Eriksson. But all does not appear to be well with Speed, and he slows after crossing the bridge, allowing Winan to pass. Eriksson soon follows with 1 lap to go, and Speed is in danger of not finishing. Once again, there's a reshuffle of the order. Leading is Dine as he has done from the start, second is Joni Winan, and third is Sebastian Eriksson. Brian Deegan has also moved up along with Sverre Isaacson as Speed limps his way around the track. Now it is Deegan who makes a bid for third place after taking the Joker and pulling alongside Eriksson. The two touch. This pushes Deegan wide and they touch again. And Deegan goes even wider. Dine goes on to win ahead from Winan, followed by Eriksson who just manages to hold off Deegan. Well, that was only one race, and that was pure action. The drivers look ready for the next one, and so do the fans. Saturday's winner, Tanner Faust in his yellow and black Volkswagen Andretti Rallycross Beetle, sandwiched on the front row by Patrick Sandell and Nelson Piquet Jr. Sandell stalls on the line while Faust and Piquet drag it out to the first corner. Also racing are Steve Arpin and Rice Millen. Bringing up the rear is Ken Blanc down into that popular hammer bend. At the front it is Tanner Faust in the Volkswagen Beetle leading from Nelson Piquet in the black and red Ford Fiesta. Then Steve Arpin is followed by Rice Millen in the Hyundai Veloster. Ken Block making his way back into the pit before completing a lap. At the front, the battle for the lead is between Tanner Faust and Nelson Piquet. The Joker lane is closed for this first lap and everyone must go over the jump. The 2011 and 2012 Supercars champion Faust was looking to improve a poor showing in 2014 when he was out of the title contention early in the season. With one victory already under his belt, it had catapulted him up the standings. First, he would have to contend with Nelson Piquet in this race if he wanted to win. Lap 1 under the belt, and now consistency, speed, tire management, and strategy all came into play. There is no change in the order, and what started out as a 6-car grid quickly dwindled to 4 cars. Faust mentioned that the key on Saturday was staying out of trouble, and so he opted to take the Joker as soon as it was available. However, he went over a small kick in the back of the car, struck something, and took a part of his bumper off. A second look at that, and we hope it's only the bumper. But his plan to stay out of trouble seemingly was working, as it gave him some breathing room at the front between himself and Nelson Piquet. Not far behind are Steve Arpin and Rice Millen. Not taking anything for granted, Faust continues to press on, using every inch of the track and then some. Barbados was beginning to look like a happy hunting ground for Volkswagen. Faust had been fourth in qualifying and led this race from the onset. The Volkswagen Beetle has a unique sound when gearing down, so different from the others. Everyone seemed just out of striking distance and thus were not challenged for any positions. Arpin goes for the Joker, and he may just steal second place from Nelson Piquet. And he does it. What looked like being out of striking distance turns out to be a passing opportunity after taking the Joker. Seems as though the only damage to the car Faust has is indeed the bumper. Still plenty more laps to go, and Piquet is yet to take the Joker. Piquet is all over Steve Arpin in this race, and he takes the Joker this time around. He comes out just behind Faust, and now the battle rekindles for the lead. But Faust is not having it and punches for the straight. Faust tries to put some more distance between him and Piquet, but Piquet quickly closes. Does he have enough laps and room to pass Faust? Piquet's Ford Fiesta seems to be really up to speed, because the Volkswagen Beetle seemed to be really quick in a straight line. Faust runs slightly wide, allowing Piquet to get even closer. It seems that Piquet is almost mirroring Faust as they go through these series of jumps and turns. Piquet starts to look down the inside, but there is no room and he doesn't have the speed. Well, if he wants to take the victory, he has one more lap to do so. It seems there will be no way past this time, and Tanner Faust goes on to win from Piquet, followed by Steve Arpin and Rice Millen. Patrick Sandell being helped into the pit area. Ken Block's Ford Fiesta being worked on. The Honorable Stephen Lashley, Minister of Sports, gave us his take on the event.
Well, first of all, any major international sporting event in Barbados has a number of impacts in terms of the wider economy. And you're very correct, because once we're able to, first of all, attract international motor racing fans as well as drivers to Barbados, that immediately puts Barbados on the map as a serious sporting destination. Of course, the services and so on that have to be consumed here at Bushy Park are provided by local businesses and entities. That means, of course, that there's a wider economic impact, a wider impact in terms of jobs and the use of goods and services. And that really is the magic of using sports as an industry, as you hear me speak of very often, where there is a tremendous potential in Barbados to carefully carve out sports as a very key niche for economic expansion. And of course, notwithstanding even that, the kind of persons who have to be employed here at Bushy Park, both in terms of the engineering capacity, motor mechanics and so on. And of course, I see a lot of catering happening here. I see also persons bringing their various items, consumables. And that means that there is certainly going to be an economic impact. What we have to do, of course, is to make this even more sustainable. We have to be able to, of course, have more events. The more events we have, the wider impact it will have in terms of the economy.
The Minister of Finance, the Honorable Chris Sinclair, and Mark Maloney. The BTMI Director for the U.S. helps us out on camera for this race. We had a little fun with this one. They get going, and this one's gonna be hot. Austin Dine had a few problems off the line. Block is already up to third and Scott Speed fourth. Leading is Nelson Piquet from Sebastian Eriksson, who is letting the Ford Fiesta hang all the way out. Bringing up the rear are Brian Deegan and Austin Dine. Piquet had finished a close second to Faust in the heats and was looking to go one better in the semis. Block, who was running in third, was trying to stop the leakage of points after a disastrous Saturday when he didn't get any. Scott Speed had seized Block's non-scoring day and squeezed his way into the points lead. Here we go, and this is Petra's shot. Block passes Eriksson. They're both passed by Speed, and Dine squeezes past as well. Our new camera person seems to have it all under control, I think. From the VIP stand. Plenty passing behind race leader Nelson Piquet, who has no problems at the front. Reshuffled. Let's see where they stand now. Piquet is the leader from Scott Speed, followed by Austin Dine, Ken Block, Sebastian Eriksson, and Brian Deegan. Deegan peeps down the inside of Eriksson and goes for it. Piquet's advantage looks to be increasing, while Speed sits in second place just ahead of Austin Dine, Ken Block, Brian Deegan, and Sebastian Eriksson. And there is no change in the order, as the chance for a place in the final will be decided here. Piquet leads. Scott Speed is second, and taking the joker and coming out in third is Ken Block, as Austin Dine has Brian Deegan filling up his rear view mirror. Deegan tries to go down the inside of Dine but can't make it stick this time around. Still handling the main camera for the Race 1 team is Petra Griffith Roach. I think our cameraman will have to look for a job from next week. Winning the first semi-final is Nelson Piquet Jr., followed by Scott Speed and Ken Block. Then Austin Dine, Brian Deegan, and Sebastian Eriksson.
I'm tremendously proud with what we've done as a facility and as Bushy Park hosting this event. There's so many things that go on behind the scenes all day long as we stand. I have this radio with me, you know, listening to communication from our operations team to our marketing team, and there are a million different things going on behind the scenes to ensure that everybody that comes in this facility has a completely enjoyable time. What you will notice going around this facility that is paramount to us is cleanliness. So although people are eating and drinking and all of that, we have cleaners that are going around cleaning the toilets, cleaning the grounds, cleaning all the areas, because that feel is important to people. And just as you look out onto the track and you see how everything looks clean and lush and organized, we want to make sure that all the areas where our vendors are doing everything to the absolute most sanitary condition, and everything is structured. And I'm really loving it. I'm in awe. Our post-mortem meeting last night of yesterday's event, it was really heartening because it wasn't so much on criticizing what we hadn't done, but more so on looking on what more we can do. And I think that that's where Bushy Park is. It's not anymore looking backwards, it's looking forward. Even the supporter Race 1 team, I mean, without you guys, we couldn't do this because we need to market what we do. And I don't think people appreciate what the media and the newspaper and Race 1 does for sporting in Barbados, for Bushy Park, and for sporting throughout the region. I want to say it not just because I'm speaking to you right now on Race 1, but Race 1 is integral to the future of motorsport in Barbados, in the Caribbean, and also to Bushy Park, and we really appreciate what you guys do.